Hey, what's up? This is Rob here. So, have you ever experienced a time in your life where you felt that you couldn't go on any further? You felt that, you felt like you put everything on the line, you tried everything, you used every resource, you pushed yourself to the limit, you exhausted your resources, and still what you want, it's not there. It hasn't came into fruition. Have you ever experienced that before? I know I have. It's frustrating. It's super frustrating. And it can be debilitating. It could be exhausting. It can make you want to quit. I get that. So welcome to my podcast, No Ceilings. This is your host, Rob Reynosa. And today's episode is all about that moment, that defining moment that you want to quit. That defining moment where you're like, you know what, man, I'm going to lose my shit. Like, am I going crazy? Am I going crazy for wanting this and wanting to push on further? Am I crazy for having this desire? Am I crazy for dreaming this big and, putting myself on the line and potentially looking stupid? Yeah, you are. You are crazy. And you have to be, though. You have to be crazy to want these things, to go for these big dreams, whether it's quitting your job and creating a business from scratch for yourself, whether it's, just getting out of a relationship that you weren't totally happy with and saying, you know what, I'm going to take some time for myself. And then all of a sudden someone comes into your life that's mind-blowing and you're like, what the hell? I just said I wasn't going to do this. And here I'm jumping into another relationship months later. Dreams as big as wanting to shake the world, wanting to reform school systems or jail systems, prison systems, healthcare systems, wanting to shake up the whole entire health industry. Yeah, you do have to be a little crazy. You do. My dream, my passion is to help people realize that our power is within us. But it's not just within us, it's a programming. It's teaching people how to reprogram their mind through identifying, becoming aware of what programming is already there, having them basically rip that apart, uncover it, and then helping them tap into what they really want and creating new programs to get there. You do have to lose parts of yourself frequently in order to shed off those old layers, kind of like an onion, peeling off a layer by layer. Those are old layers of old identity. And you have to be crazy to want to shed off those layers of identity because that's what kept us safe. That's what kept us feeling like everything's going to be okay. It's like our protective suit. It's the things that we made up about our reality to make us feel safe, to make us keep a nice, even flow to life. And so by wanting bigger things, by wanting to express yourself more, by wanting to go after what you really want in life, you have to step out of your comfort zone. You have to step out of what you have been conditioned to stay within. And yeah, you have to be a little crazy to do that. That's just about me as far as what I'm up to. But, changing the healthcare system, changing the way people look at food and their relationship to food, changing the way people think, changing the way people manage and think about money. Anything and everything you can think of that has you going through a transformation, it takes somebody with a lot of courage and a lot of guts, a lot of craziness to really push against the norm and to set a new path. And, what happens is when we start to embark on these adventures, when we start to take on these new roads, this new ambition that we want to bring into our life and to bring into fruition these new desires, you have to step out of your comfort zone. You have to step out of your comfort zone consistently. Every single day you have to do this. Every single day you have to challenge yourself. Every single day you have to put yourself out there again. And if you have a fear around income and around money and around using your gifts to help people, and in return being compensated for those gifts and the services, if you have a lot of weird money shit around that, you're going to block yourself. You're going to stop yourself. If you have any weird stuff around being fully self-expressed and sharing yourself, because maybe as a child you were taught that people who stand out, people who speak themselves up, it's being conceited. People who stand out get hammered down, right? All these beliefs that we have from childhood affect us, they impact us. So when it comes time to sharing our gifts, when it comes time to looking deeper, when it comes time to healing ourselves and to really getting ourselves out there to promote who we are, we limit ourselves because of those beliefs that are there. So these moments that we have where we push against the grain, and when we go, we push, we keep pushing, and we're going for what we want, and we feel like we're at the brink of succeeding to the next level, to attaining a certain goal, to aligning with something that we've been wanting to align with for a while, and things aren't working out. And we've done the work, we've been doing the work, we're aware that we have blind spots, we're aware we still have stories around whatever it is that's keeping us down, and it can get frustrating, right? Like just like the beginning what I was saying, it can get frustrating and very annoying, and you feel the pressure. That moment in time where you feel like giving up, where you feel like, man, I don't know if I can take any more of this shit. Like I've been pushing so hard. I don't know if I can take any more of this. I'm about to break. I need something to work in my favor. At that moment, when you're about to quit, that's when things happen. That's when the magic unfolds. That's when the next page to the next chapter flips over. And it's you who flips it over. It's you who takes that next step. It's you who creates this magic. Because if you wouldn't have pushed this far to get where you're at now, to the point of frustration, to the point of like, what the fuck? I call them what the fuck moments, because they are. Like, what the fuck, man? I'm over here trying, like I'm putting everything into it. It's those moments of adversity, those moments where you're being challenged, that causes you to think different. It causes you to look at your situation different. If you're wise enough to perceive it differently, if you're wise enough to look at it differently than how everybody else is looking at it. Because most people just fold up, they just give in. They don't want to go on further. They're done. Hey man, I tried this, it didn't work out. I tried that whole entrepreneurship thing, it didn't work out. I tried that whole coaching thing, it didn't work out. I tried this, it didn't work out. It didn't work out because you gave up. You quit too soon. That's why it didn't work out. That's why everything never works out. Or that's why when you're going for something and it doesn't work out, it's because you quit too soon. You see, when things do challenge us and we are experiencing adversity, we're being redirected. It doesn't mean that we have to abandon our dream. It doesn't mean we have to abandon, our goals and what we're going for. It's just slightly redirecting us. I remember hearing this story a while back of this fly that was in this house, and this man was observing this fly trapped in a house. And I'm sure you can relate to this because we've all seen flies trapped in the house. And at first, they're super, they have a lot of energy. They're moving everywhere. They're full of life. And over the course of the next 2 days, you can see their energy dropping. They're banging against the window. They're banging against the window. They fly around a little bit, they bang against the window. And boom, over and over and over and over again. And then they just kind of hang against the window, and they're just kind of crawling in different little areas and circles and whatnot. And eventually their energy depletes so much and they end up dying. Now, what the fly doesn't realize, and this is relative to us, is that a few little inches to the right, if they were to change direction just a little bit to the right or to the left, they would actually see perhaps an opening in the door or perhaps another way out. But they're so focused on getting out through this door, on getting out through what they could see is freedom, and they're missing that there's a crack in the door. They're missing people coming in and out of the house on the other side of the room. And all it takes is that one little direction, that one little move, that quarter of a centimeter, whatever you want to call it. It's just a tiny little move. And if they were to change that angle, it would take them into an entirely different location, and they can find their freedom there. And it's the same thing what happens to us. It's we get challenged, we get faced with adversity, and we get so focused on this is the way it has to go. This is where I have to go. This is what I have to do. And we get hammered and hammered and hammered and hammered and hammered until we're like, oh man, shit, what the fuck? I don't know what else to do next. I don't know what else to do next. I'm about to lose my mind. I feel like I'm already crazy for going for this anyways, for wanting to change the world and impact 1 billion people. I feel like I'm nuts. Am I nuts? Am I crazy? And you start like asking people around, am I crazy? For those who still believe in you, they're like, no, you're not crazy. Not that crazy. You could do this. You could figure this out. But we get to that point, that breaking point, we start asking those questions like, what do I do next? I don't know what to do next. I'm losing my mind. I tried this, oh, you know what? I haven't given my full 100% effort in this area. Man, I didn't even think about that. This is right here. This resource is right here. Or some other person might pop in your mind, some other resource, some other activity or action you can take and move on pops up in your head in a flash because you're at that brink. You're at that cusp of, I don't know what to do next. I don't know what to do next. And you start asking yourself, what do I do next? What could I do next? Not why. Why is this happening to me? Why does it seem like I can never get things going right and working in my favor? Why does it seem like it's always challenging? You don't want to go with that bullshit, man. That's that victim bullshit. Stay away from that. Tap into what can I do next? What have I not tried? What's possible? What am I missing? What's right here in front of me that I'm missing that will help me take me to the next level? Boom. You asked the question. Your mind shifted. Your perception shifted. You're the fly that kept banging against the window over and over and over again. And all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, boom. You created space. You created opportunity for growth. You created something new. And my friend, this is the whole point of this game. It's always to bring us back to ourselves. No matter what's happening out here in the world, everything's designed to bring us back to ourselves, to ask ourselves, what's next? What can I do next? And if you're not thinking along these lines, you're always going to stay in the same place. You're always going to be at that plateau, that nice even road that our ego has been constructed and designed to keep us doing. Is at that flat road, just that flat, straight arrow road. Just walk down that path and you're good. And if you're anything like me, I'm not about that road. I'm about growth. I'm about more richness, fullness, more love, more self-expression, more impact, creating more wealth for everyone involved. And if you're like me, we hit these blocks. We hit these big, huge walls and we don't know what to do next. We're like, what the fuck? Those what the fuck moments. Think whatever you want to think. Thank God, thank the universe for those what the fuck moments. Thank yourself for bringing yourself to the brink of exhaustion, of wanting to give up. Be grateful for these moments. I hit those moments all the time, and that's a good sign. If you're hitting those moments, if you're hitting those what the fuck moments, that means you're growing. If you're never hitting those what the fuck moments, you're not growing. Your perception doesn't have to be breakdown or your reaction doesn't have to be a breakdown every single time. You can perceive it as a gift. You can perceive these moments as, damn, this is a blessing. This is teaching me to think different. That's growth mindset, right? You could either perceive it and act upon it from a growth mindset perspective, or you can do it from a limited mindset perspective. The name of it is like fixed mindset. I'm over here trying to be in the flow and I forgot fixed mindset. So how you look at things, how you perceive things, how you perceive yourself, this is what influences your action, right? This is the mindset that influences your next move, how you operate, how you move through life. Get this down. If there's one thing that you can take away from this recording here, is start to change how you perceive challenges and adversity. Start changing how you perceive. Instead, what I mean is if you perceive that everything's against you and that you can't move any further, that you've reached your end, that there's nothing else left here, I've tried everything. If you operate from that, you won't succeed. And remember, succeed comes from succession. It means to success, to move forward. You won't be able to move forward. You have to think differently. Perceive your reality differently. Make it work for you. Again, if you find yourself at this point, at this brink of exhaustion, of wanting to quit, of wanting to give up, ask yourself, what have I missed? What have I missed that could take me to the next level? Because there's something I'm missing. Guaranteed. You wouldn't have the desire, you wouldn't have the dreams if you weren't capable of carrying them out. All right? Thank you for joining me on another show on my podcast, No Ceilings. Here's your host, Rob Reynosa. And if you have any questions, concerns, inputs, please reach out to me at connect@thereisnoceiling.com. You can also find me on Instagram at Rob Reynosa, ROBREYNOSA _, and also at Think, THINC _. And as you know, conscious creators, we are the future, and there is no ceiling. Peace.